Hey, and welcome to The Better Drummer with Zach Covington. I'm Zach Covington. Today we're going to talk about the best stick to use when playing jazz music. Now, there's not one specific stick that is the best stick when playing jazz, but we'll talk about the characteristics that make a good stick for playing jazz music. Let's get right into it. Before we dive into these sticks that I have in front of me, I want to give you all something for free. It's my PDF guide, 5 Jazz Drum Grooves to Get You Through the Gig. Now, we've all been there. Someone calls a tune and starts playing it in a way that we don't really know how to play, how to interact. This guide will give you 5 grooves that should be able to get you at least stepping in the right direction and playing some more authentic, stylistic music. If you're already playing jazz, then you probably have an idea of what sort of stick you like and the characteristics of that. If you don't, I'll tell you that generally we want lighter sticks, slightly smaller in diameter, not something super long or super short, something right in the middle, and something that has a good taper to it. So I know I just said a lot of things that you may not have heard before. The diameter, right, it's just how thick the stick is. Length, obviously, how long it is. And the taper is when it starts to sort of fade off from the barrel, or from the large part of the stick, down to the tip. So we want it to have a longer taper. For each stick that I talk about, I'm going to give you the specifications down below so you can know exactly the diameter and length and taper and tip type as well. One of the sticks that I have been enjoying so much over the past 4 or 5 years has been the Vic Frith American Jazz line, specifically the AJ4. The AJ4 is one of my absolute favorites. It is, for me, just the right diameter, so it fits in my hand without feeling too thin. It is on the thinner side, though. The taper is a little longer than some other sticks, which gives it a little bit more weight on the back of the stick instead of being forward heavy. And then the acorn tip really gives a nice definition to the ride cymbal and to really all of the instruments that we play. Here's a playing example of the Vic Frith AJ4. The AJ4 is going to give you a ton of rebound off the ride cymbal and really any surface that you play, which is going to be really great in really maintaining that bouncy, buoyant swing feel. For me, the AJ4 is sort of the perfect mixture of diameter, the way it feels, and the taper and tip. For me, this is what I've been using, again, the last 4 or 5 years, and I don't think I'll be switching anytime soon. I've gotten used to these sticks, and they are feeling really natural, just like extensions of my hands at this point. With any of these sticks that we talk about and that you try, the goal is just for them to feel like an extension of your hand, right? So keep trying sticks out and find the ones that feel the most natural to you. Sticking with the Vic Frith family, now I want to talk about the Nate Smith Signature Series stick. Now, the Nate Smith Signature Series is a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier of a stick than the AJ4. It has a similar taper, not quite as long, which means it's got a little bit more weight on the front end of the stick, and it has a barrel tip that's sort of rounded off at the top, which gives you a little bit more surface area than the acorn tip does, which gives you a little bit more body to the sound. Because these are a little bit thicker, they feel a little bit more sturdy, I'll say, in the hands. Like there's more to them to hold on to, which may give you a little bit more control. But the weight addition is either good or bad depending on what stick you're coming from and what comfort level you are with sort of lighter sticks. The Nate Smith signatures do a little bit more that the AJ4 can't do for me. With them being a little bit thicker, they and a little heavier, they can naturally produce a little bit more sound. So when I need to be playing a funk gig or a pop gig or something, I might use these Nate Smiths so that I don't have to work quite as hard to achieve the same level of volume. They also get, with the barrel tip, a little bit different texture on the cymbals, which can be good to switch things up if you're in a space that might need a little bit more body or a little more volume. The next stick that I have is one that is really common. It's a 7A. Now, today I have a 7A made by Promark. This is the Rebound 7A, the natural finish. So it has no sort of finish to make the stick smooth. It's a little bit more of a raw, natural feel. And I was just trying these out because I was looking for something slightly different than the AJ4 and trying something new and wanted to see how the natural sticks feel. And it definitely gives you a more in-touch sense of what's going on with the stick because there's no resin finish on top of the stick. The Rebound 7A has a decent taper, somewhere in between the Nate Smith and the AJ4, I believe. And the acorn tip is a little bit larger than the AJ4, which gives you a little bit, again, more surface area to get some different sounds and a little bit more body to the cymbal and the surfaces you're playing. You pretty much can't go wrong with the 7A. The 7A is a stick that I started playing the drums with when I was really young and have played versions of them and played different sticks all throughout my life. So these will always be in my bag just in case. And they are, again, a standard for a reason. They fit lots of different purposes and fit in lots of different people's hands. So try a pair of 7As if you haven't already. The next stick that I want to talk about is the Vater Carl Palmer Anniversary stick. Now, this stick is new to me because it is my brother's roommate's pair. But they were here in the studio, and I picked them up one day. Thank you, Dan. And just started using them and was like, wow, these are pretty cool. The taper is a little smaller than the AJ4. It's more like the Nate Smith taper, and it has a acorn tip that doesn't get quite as far down. It doesn't get quite as thin towards the bottom of that taper, which sort of gives the stick a sort of unique shape to it. They're a little bit thicker than the Nate Smith Signature Series, but they're about the same weight, it feels like to me, which gives you a little bit more control over the stick with the lighter weight, but still gives you all that diameter in your hand to really feel like you're holding on to something that's not like a toothpick. For me, the Carl Palmer Signature fits into that thicker but still lighter and more controllable stick that, again, has a nice rebound to it just like the AJ4s or the 7As. But again, it's a little bit easier to control, has more thickness to it. If you're coming from thicker sticks, these might be ones to check out. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video today, hit the like button and subscribe as well, so it helps me feed my elephant. Thanks again, and I'll see you when you're a better drummer.